Syracuse, what gives? You are such an enigma this year. You go from heroes against West Virginia to just bums against Louisville. After the high there of beating up supposedly the big team in the Big East this year, throttling West Virginia in the Dome, we go down to Louisville for what we thought was going to be a pretty good win against the Cardinals. And what happens? We turn from great heroes to complete bums. I mean, what gives, Syracuse? You either are the team that represents the beast of the East like we were all those years ago, to the ones that like to scare us half to death, or like Saturday, you act like a team from when G-Rob was coach. And heck, some of the players are still leftovers from when G-Rob was coach. What? You decide to make your appearance Saturday or what? What gives? I mean, right there in the opening, I thought this isn't going to be pretty, especially on that opening drive. Our Achilles heel all year has been our pass defense, and boy did it come to the fore on the first two Louisville drives. Heck, we allowed 2 long completions, including that one for the touchdown, then also that pass there to Josh Chester. Sorry, I have to sneeze whenever I mention his name. It's 14-0 already. And also, what happened to the discipline the week before Louisville? What did we suddenly do? Lose our composure? What's with all the personal foul penalties? Either because it was a couple days before Halloween or whatever, no discipline. Almost 5-6 personal foul penalties. Inexcusable, Orange. You know what? I'm half tempted to get Gunny Ermey to talk to you guys. Why, Syracuse Orange, what did you think you were doing? You're supposed to be a disciplined bunch, not a bunch of cowboys. Now get down and give me 20. That's why I'd like to give it to you, you Orange. What the hell? You never got in sync all day. And speaking of in sync, if you got in sync, you better clean yourself up. I've heard of singing in the shower, but never singing in sync. A-la-da-da-dee, a-la-da-da-da, brrrr. That's only if you use cold water. You know what? That's why I like to pour on you guys to wake up. As I said, you never got in sync all day. Heck, whenever Nassib went back to pass, 4 times Louisville said, "Sit down, son." And even though we did kick a field goal there at the end of the first half, I'm thinking, here comes Syracuse, they're a second half team. But as I said, nothing worked. The only thing that worked was the 2 times Antoine Bailey ran for big gains out of the Express, Syracuse's version of the Wildcat. Heck, last year, wasn't it called the Stallion? I wonder if it was going to be called the Mare this year. And also, the only highlight there came near the end of the game. The touchdown Jared West scored in garbage time. What gives, Syracuse? What gives? I don't know what to think of you sometimes. And also, we got to get going. I'm wondering if this was the team that they were touting to represent the Big East in the BCS, or the team that could maybe almost be fighting for a bowl spot. Heck, after Saturday, we could be fighting for a bowl spot. And of course, coming up, we got a familiar face. Paul Pasqualoni is the coach this year for Connecticut, and he may still know a few ins and outs about the Orange, but hopefully we can snap our streak against Connecticut. 4 straight times we've lost to the Huskies. Let's get in sync, Orange. And also, I give a shout out to the basketball team. Even though it's only an exhibition, hell, it's time for hoops in Central New York. As SU alum Steve Thompson leads Cal State LA into the Dome. But you know, should be an easy win for the Orange B-ball team. But whatever, Orange, let's get in sync. Maybe into the shower. And now a change. Alright guys, we go from talking about complete bums to complete heroes. Boy, Buffalo was sure in sync against Washington. Our home, quote-unquote, game in Toronto. In 3 previous times at the Rogers Center, Buffalo hadn't done squat. This time, we decided to do squat against what was a depleted Washington Redskins team. And you know, speaking of in sync, Buffalo never let Washington get in sync all day. John Beck was in at quarterback for the Redskins, and boy, Shane Gailey wanted to get the pass rush going, but boy did he get it going. 9 times we said to John Beck, "Sit down, son." Marcel Darius and the defensive line, even the Bird, had a big day rushing him. And also, there was no rushing attack for Washington to talk about. We never let them get in sync also. But Buffalo was definitely in sync offensively. Ryan Fitzpatrick, who just signed that big, huge contract extension earlier in the week, showed why he may be worth those 6-year, nearly $59 million that he's going to be paid. Fitzpatrick led the Bills downfield on several drives, including 2 touchdown passes to the guy who seems to now be the answer for the Bills at tight end, Scott Chandler. Where was a guy like that the past few years? Buffalo didn't have a tight end to speak of. Now they got Mr. Chandler. There were a couple hiccups along the way. Heck, that center exchange between Fitzpatrick and Wood that they fumbled, but thankfully the defense clamped down. And also the INT that he threw there in the end zone in the second half when Buffalo could have scored a touchdown. Heck, the score could have been much worse than it was. But overall, it was a completely dominating effort by the Bills yesterday. 2 touchdowns to Chandler, 3 Ryan Lindell field goals. Although he did have a hiccup too. One of his field goals caromed off the post. Doink! But there were plenty of highlights. 23-0 over the Redskins, even if the Redskins were really depleted. And coming up is, I think, the real test for the Bills. Even if this other team is having an inconsistent year. Boy, I would really like to see Buffalo take it to the blowhard of the NFL, Rex Ryan, a coach that just can't seem to keep his mouth shut. You know what? Buffalo ought to put Rex Ryan's mouth over into the gutter, because that's where it belongs. But New York is going to be tough. They got some talent. But Rex Ryan will shut you up on Sunday. I'm Ken Haas. That's my story. And what a game, Buffalo. And what a stinker, Orange.